I believe that the average Jamaican should be able to access a firearm for themselves and defend themselves and their property. Personal safety has to be something that is almost second nature. How quickly can I neutralize a threat?
If a person is not trained, like really quickly, just give me a quick primer on how would I know what is the correct position to take when returning fire?
Well, in training, they tell us, we did the legal and moral responsibilities of firearm. Know your target and what lies behind it. Very important. You can kill someone, an innocent bystander. Just like that Berlin robbery in Mandeville, where quite a number of persons were hit by stray bullets. The reports didn't say who fired and injured those persons, but the second most important thing is to take cover. Ensure that you're in a position that will stop a bullet if needs be. Otherwise, the intention is always to get as low as possible, making yourself a smaller target. So dropping to your knees, dropping to your stomach, firing from the ground. Those are things that can work. If you have the cojones to execute it.
Yeah, and there's no point in going through the licensing process and then having a firearm and not being trained in its effective use.
Well, you are expected to be able to use the firearm, demonstrate that you can use it, but the truth is that it takes more than that. Because it takes the condition of the mind to be able to respond effectively by just situational awareness, see what is happening, how quickly can I neutralize a threat. Am I with my family and friends? How do I try to steer any harm away from them while defending myself and them? So there are a lot of things to consider, but those things are split-second reaction, which is why your personal safety has to be something that is almost second nature. And that goes for pretty much every scenario in life. I'm sure you're not going to have a huge sum of money and somebody comes with a good idea and you automatically just give them all your money because it seems like you're going to do your due diligence. Exactly. So it's the same thing. It's nice to have a firearm. I guess for some people in their waist. If you're not going to use it, then what's the point? Can't be a status symbol alone. Because that's generally not what a firearm is used for. So, as I said earlier, I believe that the average Jamaican should be able to access a firearm for themselves and defend themselves and their property. Because as I said earlier, if that taximan can disarm a gunman who's trying to rob them, I believe more persons can defend themselves sufficiently enough to ward off a threat.
And as we said, there's always the in-between ground with the non-lethal weapons too, right? There's tasers and pepper sprays and all of those things.
Well, that's if the threat is not a gun, because truth be told, I mean, a safe different distance from a gun is the effective range of the bullet.
Yes.
For most handguns, it's I believe it's 70 meters. As an effective range. That's not to say if you're at 80 or 100, a bullet can't harm you, but on average, if you're beyond that 100-meter range, it's not likely to do any fatal damage. But of course, rifles have a longer range, so that's a different story altogether. So the long and short of it is that even if you're carrying a firearm, you must understand the weapon that is being used to target you. If it's a rifle, you might have to get better cover. And make sure that the person is within striking distance of you as well. Or get a shotgun and the noise alone will scare anybody away.